Okay, so every cat in my description in the last video was in the ThunderClan because there were different clans. We got this. Oh my god, my flashlight is off. We have the ThunderClan, RiverClan, ShadowClan, WindClan, and StarClan. But everything in the description on my last video was in the ThunderClan. So we're just gonna. Oh my god, I almost just dropped my tablet. Well, I'm gonna put it just next to me because we don't need the light anyways. Oh, well, say hello to the light, I guess. Anyways, I'm just gonna read. Let me find my page first. Okay. I think I left off in suddenly a noise roared nearby. Rusty looked around, and as he did so, the mouse was able to pull away from its claws. When Rusty turned back, he saw it dart into the darkness among the tiny roots of a tree. So that's where I left it off. So now we're gonna read. Angry, Rusty gave up the hunt. He spun around, his green eyes glaring intent on searching out the noise that had cost him his kill. The sound rattled on, becoming more familiar. Rusty blinked, opened his eyes. The forest has disappeared. He was inside a hot, airless kitchen. Curled in his bed. Moonlight glittered through... Sorry, my flashlight. Moonlight flittered through the window, casting shadows on the smooth, hard floor. The noise had been rattle of hard, dried pellets of food as they were tipped into his dish. Rusty had been dreaming, lifting his head. He rested his chin on the side of his bed. His collar rubbed uncomfortably around his neck. In his dream, he had felt fresh hair ruffling soft fur where the collar usually pinched. Rusty rolled onto his back, savoring the dream for a few more moments. He could still smell Mouse. It was the third time since the full moon that he had that dream, and every time the mouse had escaped his grasp. He licked his lips. From his bed, you could smell the bland odor of his food. I haven't read past this. His owners always refilled his dish before they went to bed. The dusty smell chased away the warm sense of his dream, but the hunger rumbled on in his stomach. So Rusty stretched to sleep out of his limbs and padded across the kitchen floor to his dinner. The food felt dry and tasteless on his tongue. Rusty reluctantly swallowed one more mouthful, then turned away from the food dish and pushed his way out through the cat flap, hoping that the smell of the garden would bring back the feelings from his dream. Oh, well, I thought Rusty lived in the forest. I didn't know that. Okay. Alright. Rusty stalked down a tidy garden, following the starlit gravel path, feeling the stones cold and sharp beneath his paws. He made his dirt beneath a large bush with grassy green leaves and heavy purple flowers. Those sickly sweet scent cloyed the damp air around him. He curled his lip to drive the smell out of his nostrils. Afterward, Rusty settled down on top of one of the posts in the fence and marked the limits of the garden. It was a favorite spot of his, as he could see right into the neighboring gardens as well as the dense green forest on the other side of the garden fence. The rain had stopped behind him. The close-cropped lawns was bathed in moonlight? I'm not sure, I'm sorry. But beyond the fence, the woods were full of shadows. Rusty stretched his head forward to take a sniff. To sniff the damp air. His skin was warm and dry under his thick coat, but he could feel the weight of the raindrops that sparkled on his ginger fur. He heard his owners giving him one last call from the back. Yeah, I'm literally reading the book, but it's not very good quality because of my tablet. But I am at the end of the page. See? Sparkled on his ginger fur. He heard his owners giving him one last call from the back. Sorry there's no color in this video and it's super boring, so yeah. And with That's because I'm reading and it's nighttime and it's super late. I'm very spooked right now because I just watched a couple scary videos, but whatever. Alright. Back door. If he went to them now, they would greet him gentle words and caresses to welcome him into their bed where he can curl, pouring in a warm crick of a bent knee. But this time Rusty ignored his owner's voices, and turned his gaze back to the forest. The crisp smell of the woods had grown fresher than the rain. Suddenly, the fur on his spine prickled. Was something moving out there? Was something watching him? Rusty stared ahead, but it was impossible to see or smell anything in the dark, tree-scented air. He lifted his chin, boldly stood up and stretched, one paw gripping each part of the fence post as he straightened his legs and arched his back. He closed his eyes and breathed in the smell of the woods once more. It seemed to promise him something, tempting him onward into the whispering shadows. Tensing his muscles, he crouched for a moment, then leaped lightly down to the rough grass on the other side of the garden fence. As he landed, the bell on his collar rang out through the still night air. "Where are you off to, Rusty?" meowed a familiar voice behind him. Rusty looked up. A young black and white cat was balancing gracefully on the fence. "Hello, Smudge," Rusty replied. "You're not going into the woods, are you?" Smudge's amber eyes were huge. "Just for a look," Rusty promised, shifting uncomfortably. "You wouldn't get me in there. It's dangerous." Smudge wrinkled his black nose with distaste. "Henry said he went into the woods once." The cat lifted his head and gestured his nose over the rows of fences with the garden, toward the garden where Henry lived. "That fat old Tabby never went into the woods," Rusty scoffed. "He's hardly been beyond his own garden since the trip to the vet. All he wants to do is eat and sleep." "No, really, he caught a robin in there," Smudge insisted. "Well, if he did, then it was before the vet. Now he complains about the birds because they're disturbing his dozing." "Well, anyway," Smudge went on, ignoring the scorn in Rusty's mew, "Henry told me there were all sorts of dangerous animals out there. Huge wildcats who eat live rabbits for breakfast and sharpen their claws on old bones." "I'm only going for a look around," Rusty meowed. "I won't stay long." "Well, don't say I didn't warn you," purred Smudge. Then the black and white cat turned and plunged off the fence, back down into his own garden. Rusty sat down in the coarse grass beyond the garden fence. He gave his shoulder a nervous lick. I lost my... Oh, found it. Never mind. Okay, found it. He gave his shoulder a nervous lick and wondered how much of Smudge's gossip was true. And suddenly, the movement of a tiny creature caught his eye. He watched it scrabble under the brambles. Instinct made him drop into a low crouch. With one slow paw after another, he drew his body forward through the undergrowth. Ears prickled, nostrils flared, eyes unblinking. He moved toward the animal. He could see it clearly now, sitting up among the barred branches, nibbling on a large oh wait, what? Oh, on a large scene held between its paws. It was a mouse. I'm gonna end this video here, but like I said, all the cats in the last videos were in the ThunderClan, and this video I'm going to be doing, I think, the RavenPaw. Let me see. Actually, there's still more people in the ThunderClan. There's queens and there's elders, and then we have the Shadow Clan. So today I'm gonna finish up everyone in the ThunderClan, and then we're gonna go into into the Shadow Clan. Okay? Okay. See you all later. Lolo Sky is signing out. Azzy Studios ending her video. Bye!